Hello and welcome back to another crypto video. I hope you guys are doing well, and today we're back with another banger PulseChain video, giving you guys the latest and greatest of crypto news. And there's a lot of information to cover in this video, so I do urge you to watch it all the way through, especially because I'm going to be covering critical information that you need to know going into this upcoming altcoin season wave, especially if this is your first cycle, this is your first bull one. So sit back, grab a notebook and pen, maybe some popcorn as well, and I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Do remember, if you do share this video with your crypto bros, comment down below. It helps boost this video in the YouTube algorithm and much more. So yeah, thank you very much guys for tuning in. We're going to cover the highlight comments in a second, but looking at kind of the latest crypto movements, Bitcoin is up 1.9%, Ethereum is up way more. So remember, the rate of growth of Ethereum is surpassing Bitcoin, which is great. And matter of fact, if we look at the ETHBTC ratio, I'm actually really happy to see this, that we have broken back the local all-time high. Remember that we did a small correction, which is absolutely fine, but that's so crazy how much FUD and people doubt and people are actually saying, oh yeah, we've reached the top of Bitcoin. It's so crazy. Like, it's always going to be the same cycle again and again. People expect the chart to move in a straight line. You know what I mean? At this point, it's like I'm reiterating the exact same things in my video. It's, you know, simple formulas, simple principles, simple mindset models. The herd behavior is always going to exist, unfortunately, guys. Okay, people are going to act on the two types of fear: the fear of losing money and the fear of missing out. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I can just turn off my emotions once I'm looking at a chart. It is a constant battle every single day where you have to control your emotions. So I do acknowledge that. But this is why I tell you guys, you know, watching videos like mine, joining the conversation, being in Telegram group chat really does help. So yeah, keep that in mind. But anyways, going back to it, you can see the local all-time high that we've broken is ETHBTC ratio of 0.033. With Bitcoin dominance still above 60%, this actually does show how much leg room Ethereum has to grow. A $10,000 priced Ethereum is definitely in the cards, but again, I'm going to make a separate price predictions video, so stay tuned for that. Now, looking at other things, this is kind of one of the more important information that I wanted to relay to you guys in terms of expectations in the mid term. So yeah, this is kind of macroeconomics. Now we're looking at the M2 money supply, global M2 money supply. You probably have seen this chart many times. Now I'm putting this on a 75-day delay. As you guys can see, there's an offset between the two charts. This does make the correlation coefficient much stronger as they're, you know, kind of more tracing together. So yeah, this is the M2 money, and as you guys can see, it does seem that it will top off somewhere mid of September. Now, what am I trying to say with this? And I'm also kind of trying to align this with the price of Bitcoin. 200k Bitcoin is definitely in the cards. Is it going to happen in 2025, 2026? Because I do believe there's going to be two peaks in this bull run. You can literally do an exercise, look at the previous cycles, and you can see that there have been two peaks. Now, is the second peak guaranteed to be higher than the first one? We don't know. Okay, again, we can't really speak in certainties at all in crypto. And again, obviously none of my videos are financial advice. So yeah, looking at this chart as the next best thing to having a crystal ball, if we predict that Bitcoin will continue following the M2 money supply, it does show us that in mid-September, we will hit a local all-time high, entering a corrective phase up until mid of October, as you guys can see from the date stamp down here, and possibly printing out a V-shaped reversal. So again, this could be a key moment for you to either take profits, whatever you are. If you are a trader, and of course if you're an investor, you will kind of zoom out a little bit, because do remember that there will be a second peak, which could be in Q1 of 2026, and that second peak can be higher than the first one. So keep that in mind. But at the same time, it's really great to, you know, kind of ladder in, ladder out, and take profits along the way, especially if we hit euphoric zones. So come up with your own list of top signals or euphoric zone metrics and ranges, which I can make a separate video for that. And if you guys want me to do that, put in the comments down below. Now, looking at the second chart is a subset of the global M2 money supply chart, which is the global liquidity index. And I'll show you guys here what it is made up of. So you guys can see here, Federal Reserve System, Treasury General Account, and a bunch of other central banks like the European Central Bank, Bank of Japan, and literally other central banks, and obviously the M2 money supply that we just covered, the European money supply, and a bunch of other countries M2 money supply. So this is all kind of combined, added up together. This does verify our deductions from the previous chart. As you guys can see, that the global liquidity index does reach a local all-time high in mid-September and then enters a corrective phase up until mid-October, and hopefully now in the next few weeks we continue seeing global liquidity index breaking this all-time high into price discovery. That will just give us even more confidence for crypto in the longer term. I also want to say a big shout out to the YouTube members who are choosing to support my small channel. Thank you very much. And to the highlighted comments from David, says, thank you so much for the shout out, bro. I try my best for the community to keep everyone on track and to stay positive. Let's go. And a comment from Hart with Dog, which by the way is a bullish meme code that you need to check out, says, if people just listen to you and Somi, their mental health, attitude, and patience would be much stronger. So yeah, thank you very much for that message. And from David here says, you really know your stuff, and Coffee and Somi, just really hoping this knowledge pays off. Good for all of us. The numbers are surreal, but it's doable. If everything works out just like it has been, everything's going very well, not much longer. So yeah, thank you very much. And by the way, yes, you reminded me of the Wilson law, which by the way, if you prioritized knowledge, money will follow suit. Now looking at the prices, Bitcoin is currently at $117,000 while Ethereum is at $3,800. And what's crazy is that we're at these prices whilst the fear and greed index is still at neutral level. Now think about where the next price will be once we enter the extreme greed region. And now looking at PulseChain's Core 7 ecosystem, one of the most bullish ecosystems to be in this cycle. The biggest winner today is actually PHEX, being up 13.3% at 1.2 cents. Is this going to reach $1? I don't know. What do you guys think? Leave in the comments down below. And obviously all the other tokens are looking really good, with PWT slowly moving to its $1,000 mark, and PDAI is holding really strong at the half-cent mark. And a fun fact, it almost reached 1 cent last week, breaking a 5-month local all-time high. And now looking at other things like the PulseChain Treasury Tracker, which is again the PulseChain SAC fund. If you guys didn't know, in the previous cycle there was a PulseChain and a PulseX sacrificed funds, which obviously there's no expectations, but right now this one is holding 166,000 Ethereum worth 646 million. Now is currently up 2.89% from its DCA price, so being up 18 million. What will Richard Hart do with this? Is he going to inject this into his own ecosystem that he believes in? Yes, the guy who's already a billionaire, he's not doing this for money, he's doing this for glory. Okay, he's done this before. He's minted millionaires with Hex, a 10,000x token. Do you believe history will repeat itself? Do you believe crypto will make you a multi-millionaire? Okay, this actually takes me to the next tweet, and also takes me to this quote that I wanted to say. If you believe you can do something, you're actually halfway there. So I made kind of a manifestation tweet here saying, you wake up in 2030 and you see this, what's the first thing you do? So I want to hear your comments down below. With Bitcoin being almost at 1 million, and of course knowing that Bitcoin's at 1 million, of course we're gonna, by that time, hopefully, I don't know, not financial advice, no guarantees, PWC is gonna be 1-to-1. PDAI is at $1 ping pong unstable coin, if you know what I mean. Pulse is at 1.4 cents. BNB, big shout out to BNB and CZ. You guys just never know what kind of conversations, what kind of deals are happening behind the scenes with Richard Hart, with CZ. Yo, what an exciting time to be in crypto. With Hex right here, 3.69, nice. If you guys didn't know, by the way, 369 is an important number because it's the chain ID for PulseChain as well. And a fun fact, a $3.50 PHEX would be a 1000x from its all-time low. Now moving on into some crypto news from Cointelegraph here, says just in, altcoin inflows to Binance hit 18-month high. This is a really great sign for altcoins in general, because now we're breaking new trends. The last time, which by the way, if you guys didn't know, 18 months ago was the mini altcoin season. This is where the pre-Bitcoin halving hype happened, and this is where the Bitcoin ETF approval, Ethereum ETF approval, this is where Solana was really popping off, where it was actually leading the meme coin narrative. And unfortunately also celebrities were taking advantage of this and extracting value from their loyal fans who were possibly experiencing their first time in crypto, and their first impressions of crypto is getting scammed. So this is not really a great look. I'm looking forward to what will be the next kind of unicorn, what will lead this next altcoin wave. And definitely I do believe that there will be a DeFi season with DeFi 3.0 and things like PDAI and PWC, never been done before. Narratives are positioning themselves in a really great place to be kind of under a spotlight of that. Now, moving on to other news here from Watcher Guru. Says, breaking. President Trump officially signs executive order opening the 12.5 trillion 401k retirement market to crypto investments. So yeah, this is really great news, kind of widening the door for crypto's utility. And another crypto adoption news, you have PayPal to allow merchants to accept crypto payments. And the US Federal Reserve says it still expects 2 rate cuts this year, which is quite bullish. If you guys didn't know, we did have a recent FOMC meeting at the end of July last month with no rate cuts announced. This does leave us with 3 possible FOMC meetings where they do announce rate cuts. So that, again, this is very bullish news. Now, also, I wanted to bring this point because what you need to understand is that the market is probably already pricing the 2 rate cuts. So please be careful. This kind of does play into the fact that we might see a local high at mid-September, okay? Because sometimes people actually price in the changes and then they sell the news, and then of course they buy the rumors beforehand. So keep that in mind. And moving on to some PulseChain news, we have a tweet from Richard Hart saying, any of you fine folks have a cargo van, transit van, or similar you want to donate to a 501c3 charity. I think it's a tax write-off. I hear it'll be used to transport free electronic devices and marketing for the blockchain. So yeah, guys, this is why I believe in PulseChain. We have this global marketing, which, by the way, Richard Hart tweeted around a month ago where he said he expects the shipment to start in 2 months, which now puts it at sometime in September. He's a very smart man, and I do believe he is also tracking the macroeconomics, and he's timing this very well and perfectly with the altcoin season wave. Okay, and not only this, we mentioned the PulseChain sacrifice funds, which by definition makes PulseChain a leverage on Ethereum. Guys, we're longing Ethereum's success and we're leveraging PulseChain on top of that. Now, I wanted to show you guys this website here called pampy.app. You guys can see the address bar here on the top. And this website effectively is a price simulator of if Richard Hart decided to rotate the sacrifice funds. And I'm going to kind of play around with it today and show you guys what if Richard Hart decided to rotate the sacrifice funds at the price of Ethereum today. Okay, so if you scroll down here, you can see price appreciation simulator also has a live liquidity and some settings, which we will play around with just to kind of make it more realistic, but do understand that this is only simulation. There's no guarantees of any returns in crypto. Okay, and especially not from my videos. I'm not trying to give financial advice. You have to be responsible and do your own research and due diligence. Because remember, from the previous video, I covered Richard Hart's tweet where he said nothing or nobody should say something is Richard Hart approved, where you start saying that phrase as a replacement to doing your own due diligence. So please be careful. Anyways, I'm going to set it on an even split where it would theoretically split the sacrifice funds into 4, into Hex, PulseX, and INC. And you can see here the reserve is now worth 668 million and at the current price of Ethereum of $3,900. And now before I click calculate, I will change some settings. I can actually set the sell pressure to be whatever I want, because obviously the price, if you have buy pressure, you will have to expect a lot of people taking profits, a lot of people leaving, right, the whole distribution phase. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually put this on 90%, kind of taking it towards the worst case scenario, or maybe possibly even a realistic scenario. I don't really know. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. So I'm going to put this on 90% for all the core 4. I'm even going to max out the liquidity reduction as well, because you need to understand that when prices go up, that's when liquidity provisioning is hit with a lot of impermanent loss. So most likely the people who are providing liquidity will start pulling out as well. So I'm going to put this at the max that I can, which is 3%. So I'm going to click on close and calculate. And then let's see what it calculates using the whatever algorithm that it uses, possibly to do with the whole the Uniswap V2 formula. Anyways, looking at the prices, you can see here the results, ladies and gentlemen, with Hex. Okay, now this is if the sacrifice funds have been injected in the core 4, would result in a $4 P Hex, a 385x from today. And then you have PulseX doing a 246x, almost at the 1 cent mark, slightly ahead of Pulse, and that's most likely due to the buy and burn that PulseX has. Okay, and you have Pulse here doing 146x from today's price. INC Liquid Gold, one of my favorites, the greenest token of all. Richard Hart's first meme coin. Today's price is at $2. Tomorrow's price possibly at $640. That's a 314x. This is what's possible in PulseChain, ladies and gentlemen. Because the fact that we are going through our first cycle, guys, this is your second chance at missing Ethereum. This is your second chance at missing Bitcoin. I'm so excited for the future, guys. So in other news, we have here Liquidity Swap. If you guys didn't know, this is one of the cross-chain bridges that you can use to go from, stable coins in other chains straight to holding your favorite tokens in PulseChain. So they have recently added Atropa, Up and UpX, and vPulse. So yeah, big shout outs to Liquidity Swap here for doing so. And if you guys didn't know, this is kind of the website. I actually want to show you guys a quick simulation here. The max single transaction is 7,000, which, by the way, anyone who wants to do any more than that, again, going back to yesterday's tweet from Richard Hart, he said, be careful. You don't want to just do $100,000 buy at once. Split it up into smaller transactions so that if one fails or for whatever reason, right, it was a malicious, let's say, website. I'm not talking about this. I'm just saying with a zero trust approach. Always have a zero trust approach. Okay. There's a saying that says trust but verify. So anyways, right now is at $7,000. And I want to show you guys, if you wanted to go from, let's say, I don't know. Yeah, let's say from base, okay? If you want to go from base, or, let's change it up to Ethereum. If you want to go from Ethereum to Atropa, you can do that. You can even go from to PHEX, straight to PHEX, straight to PDAI, PWC, Teddy Bear. Like, what? That's so sick. So we're gonna check it out with Atropa and see what's the quotes, and we can see what's the price efficiency. Now they already state a 0.3% protocol fee, which is just $21. Absolutely crazy. Okay, considering the fact that it will eliminate so much intermediary steps, is very cool. So it will now give us a quote of 52,000 Atropa. We're gonna quickly go to Atropa's page, and we can see how much is 52,000. And that is 6,860. So if we pull out a calculator, okay, and if we do here real quick, right, we received 6,860. We can divide that by 7,000 minus 21, because 21 is the known fees, right? So we're gonna do 7,000 minus 21 is around 6,979. We do a division here, and it will give us a multiplier, which is around 0.98, effectively saying that you have spent around 2% from going from base as a stable coin to going to PulseChain to buying Atropa. Now that is a really great deal. You're paying for convenience, guys. I really do like this. Okay, because either way, we usually put the slippage at 1 to 2%. So I actually really like this. Big shout out to Liquidity Swap for doing this. Like, you can buy PDAI straight from Ethereum. Now just imagine once they add Bitcoin, from Bitcoin straight to PLSX, for example, like what? And I do remember I think I even have it as a tweet somewhere here, maybe. Yeah, here they said, before we open our Solana bridge to PulseChain, we need to share this common understanding. Bridging from Solana to an EVM blockchain, compatible blockchain, because Solana is not an EVM compatible blockchain, like PulseChain, is not an easy path for users. Okay, so yeah, again, they're saying that this is actually a tough task because they have to run their own smart contracts on both sides effectively, right? Creating their own, AMM, right? And by the way, fun fact that Solana is not an EVM compatible chain, which I do believe being EVM compatible is better in terms of longevity. And also on top of that, in the next cycle, guess what's going to happen? Guess who's going to have its third cycle curse, which, by the way, a lot of people said that to Ethereum, saying, oh, it's not going to perform as much this cycle because it's going through its third cycle. Solana is going to experience its third cycle curse next cycle. So the best place to be is in PulseChain, guys. We're here to stay. And again, big shout out to Liquidity Swap. Moving on, I wanted to quickly kind of showcase here. This is one of the biggest pain points, right? One of the problems that PDAI solves. PDAI, the first truly decentralized, unstable coin that doesn't require an oracle, which is a single point of failure. That doesn't have a blacklist function. So looking at this tweet here, it says stablecoin supercycle. At one point, you will need to choose one. One, a decentralized PDAI stablecoin on PulseChain that has no admin keys, that can't freeze your coins. Or two, a centralized USDC or USDT stablecoins that have admin keys that can freeze your coins. And here it shows a statistic showing wallets frozen in the previous couple of years. So yeah, as you guys can see, PDAI here absolutely frozen, 0 wallets. It's immutable, censorship resistant by design, whilst USDC since May of 2023, which by the way, that's the launch date of PulseChain, has frozen 295 wallets, and USDT is even worse, freezing 2,200 wallets for whatever plausible reason. So absolutely crazy. Big shout out to Brewmanner for making this graph and tweet. Now, I also want to show you guys this clip from Richard Hart, so I hope you guys really enjoy this.
What happens when USDC gets forked onto Pulse, but is not redeemable for dollars? I bet you the price isn't 0. Does it stay $1? Let's take Tether. Tether had fractional reserve, may still have, nobody knows. They got $650 million seized from a Polish bank by the Polish government. Then they had a token sale, the Leo token, to make up the difference. But they were fractionally reserved and still held their peg. So how fractionally reserved can a stablecoin get and still hold its peg? Will USDC on the Pulse network be worth $1? I have no idea. Will the admins that control the admin keys for this fake cryptocurrencies just invalidate them all and risk having their users sue them? I have no idea, but we're going to find out real soon. Yeah, we're going to find out real soon.
And look what he says next.
Really, or algorithmic stablecoin is going to be worth more because they don't require a dollar bank account to back them.
He's referring to DAI stablecoin. It's very obvious, especially if you've been watching Richard Hart's live streams. And by the way, this one was before PulseChain launched. He's already talking about forked stablecoins. He knows what byproduct will happen from making a first of its own kind full system state copy of Ethereum. Guys, he knew about PDAI. He's been very fond of DAI, you know, the one on Ethereum, because of the fact that how it's designed, being a decentralized autonomous organization, you know, algorithmically backed. It doesn't require a bank account. So guys, I'm going to end the video with this tweet from Shillgates. Big shout out to him. It says, I gotta be honest. I've been searching for something like this for years. A real community. A platform I can actually believe in. I tried with other projects, but the vibes never felt right. The only thing that's given me that feeling I've been chasing is PulseChain and this community. It gets me excited again. It makes me want to show up. It gives me something to look forward to. Again, he's describing purpose. I haven't felt this way since the early days of crypto. I'm so damn happy I found it again. Grateful for all of you. Thanks for adopting me. I won't let you down. A big shout out to Shillgates. We have a reply here from Liquidity Swap saying, wonderful take, sir. Let's keep PulseChain hopeful, inclusive, and full of optimism. Everyone grinding here this year won't have to wait long for their rewards. So guys, with that, I'm going to end the video there. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. And remember, big shout out to the man above. Subscribe and like. Comment down below. Share this video with the crypto bros. If you want more videos like this, helps boost this video in the YouTube algorithm. And of course, trust in the process, trust in God, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.